Hi, and welcome. I'm Beth Fisher, founder of the Betrayal Trauma Healing Method. A question came in that I wanted to address today, and it's about grief. A betrayed partner wrote in talking about how she feels like she's grieving as if there was a death. So I thought, this is a really great topic to share with people because grief is a part of the healing journey for both partners, not just the betrayed partner. And I think that gets missed a lot in the betrayal world. Both partners have to grieve. Now, they're grieving for different reasons and they're grieving different things, but they're both grieving nonetheless. So let's talk about grief. Grief is loss, right? Grief is the loss of something. In our context with betrayal, we're talking about the loss of what we thought we had, the loss of what we thought we were going to have, the loss of trust, the loss of self, the loss of so many things. In the grieving world, we think of loss as death. And yes, that is grief. We have to grieve when we lose a loved one to death, but we also have to grieve after betrayal. And it's a part of the journey. It's the part of our healing journey. So betrayed partners have to grieve. And there's all kinds of stages of grief that I teach in my courses. But betrayed partners have to grieve who they thought their partners were, right? When I, was going through this journey, this recovery journey after it was discovered my husband's betrayal, I had to grieve who I thought he was. I thought he was, man A, and it turns out he was man B. That's tough. That's tough. And I had to grieve that. I had to grieve the version of my husband that I thought I was married to. And that's not easy to do. But I also had to grieve the future that I thought I was going to have. I had a vision for my future. My husband and I were going to, stay married. We were going to have kids, grandkids, retire, till death do you part. Now, all of a sudden, I've got this huge betrayal in my world. Now, I don't even know what my future holds. So I have to grieve the future that I had in my mind of what my life was going to be like. I also had to grieve me. I had to grieve a version of myself that, I don't want to say was blindsided, but truly a version of me where I started questioning, like, how did I not see this? How did I not know? I thought I was really in tune with my gut instinct. I thought I was ABCD, right? So I had to grieve that I wasn't who I even thought I was. That's a lot of grief. I had to grieve the past. I had to grieve the future. I had to grieve him. I had to grieve me. That's a lot of grief. So when we're talking about emotional roller coasters, I hope you can see that it's perfectly normal and natural to go through these emotional roller coasters when you're dealing with so much grief. But let me talk about the unfaithful partners now, because they're grieving too. First of all, they're grieving the same version of themselves that now they have lost, right? Unfaithful partners didn't, at least I haven't met one. I'm sure there's some out there, but none of them have come into our office yet. But, I haven't met an unfaithful partner yet who got married and couldn't wait to cheat, couldn't wait to get married and then go have an affair. So at some point in time, they had integrity, right? They had this sense of who they were. Now, of course, that all fell to the wayside. As soon as they started grooming or, throwing those feelers out there, which happens way before the first actual event. But anyway, they have to grieve that. They have to grieve the version of themselves that they actually thought they were. Now they have to grieve the marriage, right? They have to grieve the loss of trust. The betrayed partners don't trust them now. And they had that security for a very long time in a lot of cases. Now they have to grieve the loss of trust that their spouses had in them. That's grief. They have to grieve the future they thought they were going to have. That's grief. They even have to grieve a fair partner sometimes if there's an emotional attachment. That's grief. So the unfaithful partners are going through a lot of grief as well. Again, all of those emotions. Now, when we're talking about unfaithful partners, though, a lot of them emotionally suppress. So they don't actually feel through the grief. And that can actually cause more damage long term. But that's for another call. This class today is really about respecting the fact that both people are grieving and they need professional support to actually process through the grieving that they're experiencing. Because without processing that, we end up just staying on the roller coaster. So I hope this video helps you out there. Again, my name is Beth Fisher. I'm the founder of the Betrayal Trauma Healing Method. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you have a question that you want me to answer, leave it in the comments below. Take care.